Russia pays for its war with oil money, and Trump just turned that valve almost all the way off. Two companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, pump more than half of Russia's oil, and overnight, buying from them basically became radioactive. Your gas might go up a couple of cents, but Moscow could lose tens of billions. On October 22nd, the US Treasury dropped both companies onto the SDN blacklist. That's the list nobody wants to land on. If you keep trading with them, you're not just risking a fine, you're risking access to the entire dollar system. And in global energy, losing the dollar is like losing oxygen.
On any country doing business with Russia. They may add Iran to that, as you know. I suggested it. So any country that does business with Russia will be very severely sanctioned. We may add Iran to the formula, yeah.
China and India had been buying nearly all of Russia's discounted barrels. But just days after the announcement, Chinese state refiners quietly paused new orders. Oil prices spiked about 5 or 6% overnight, then settled down. The market knows there's spare capacity out there if things get tight. Hungary's leader, Viktor Orban, rushed to Washington and walked away with a 12-month exemption. That sounds like a win, but the pipeline running through Ukraine shuts down on December 31st anyway, and Europe already has alternate routes lined up through Croatia and Slovakia. Meanwhile, Lukoil tried a creative escape hatch, selling off its foreign refineries and fields to Gunvor, a trader with longtime Kremlin ties. Treasury took one look and said, nope, deal dead. Those assets will now be carved up and sold to real buyers, either at massive discounts or taken over outright. And then there's Sakhalin-1, the offshore project where Exxon pulled out back in 2022. Rosneft has been pretending they can keep production stable, but without Western technology, those wells crash fast. Months, not years. All of this lands harder than earlier sanctions. Those had loopholes so big you could sail a tanker through them. This time, Treasury is staffed, focused, and tracking every workaround. Russia's budget is already cracking. Energy revenue for January through September is down about 20% compared to last year. The central bank has interest rates at 21%. Reserves are being burned just to keep the lights on. If exports fall by another 1 to 1.5 million barrels a day, that's a game changer. By 2026, the revenue hole forces Putin to choose defense cuts or an inflation spike. Either the military slows down or the home front starts feeling the pain. By 2030, Russia's complex Arctic and offshore fields begin shutting down without foreign partners, locking in a long-term production loss of 20 to 30%. And by 2040, Russia slides into the role of a mid-tier supplier, selling discounted barrels mostly to China. In the real world, Ukraine finally gets breathing room. Europe finishes cutting off the last Russian energy flows. Global oil stays in a stable range. OPEC Plus still has more than 5 million barrels a day in spare capacity. And for you and me, we probably don't see $4 gasoline again this cycle. So the question now is this the sanction that finally breaks Russia's war machine? Or do new buyers step in to keep the money flowing? Drop your take below. A quick like really helps the channel, and hit subscribe if you want more clear, simple breakdowns like this.